Really great to see you.
Great to see you as well.
All right, so tell me first, what was the biggest lesson you learned starting your company?
Yeah, so I mean, there's been so many lessons, but I feel like one of the biggest lessons, this idea of when you start a company with one idea, it just morphs, evolves. You end up with something totally different than what you thought. The whole concept and ethos is still the same, but the actual products and how we've gotten to where we are and the retailers we're doing business with versus where we started are just so much different. And I think it's this lesson that you have to be willing to change, listen, get feedback from the market, from your retailers, from customers, incorporate it. You don't have to listen to everything, but to really get as much feedback and try and make decisions based on the feedback the market's giving you.
Well, and the cool thing about you is that you started on Wall Street, and then you decided all of a sudden to become an entrepreneur and start this whole cosmetics company. So was there something that you learned from Wall Street that you then applied to starting Vbeaute?
Yeah, so Wall Street, I think, gives you a great toolkit, right? I spent my career learning about companies, researching companies, learning to look at financials. So I think that toolkit's been amazing. I think the ability to go and say, I'm going to start a skincare company. What do I know about skincare? I know how to research, find
You know,
the
you
best
like to use
lab.
it.
I know, exactly. I know what I know how to research. So I was able to go find the best labs, go research who makes the best ingredients in Switzerland, what the latest technology is. Almost like you would go research a company, right? And just sort of immersed myself in the industry, got to the right people, and really worked with them to create a product that was new, exciting, different, Swiss-based, and still accessible and affordable.
So it was like it was your love of data, your love of research?
Well, love of research and also a personal need, right? I always felt like I was spending too much on products that didn't work. I really wanted to create a line that all women could use that was vegan, fragrance-free, paraben-free, nut-free, but was still the best in Swiss-based technology. Based on the Swiss Alpine Rose. Our whole line is $53 and under. So this idea that I didn't grow up with a lot of money, so my mom could buy the products, right? Anyone could buy our products and know that they were getting a product that frankly was sold in Bergdorf Goodman, and now you can get it in the department or drugstore channel of Duane Reade and Walgreens, right?
On a personal note, just curious, do we pay too much for cosmetics?
Yes, I'd say with our brand, absolutely not, because you're getting the most luxury product at affordable prices.
At an affordable price, right.
What the consumers don't realize is that when you walk into Bergdorf's or Neiman Marcus or one of these high-end channels, you're really paying for the marketing, the global marketing campaigns. You're paying for the person to sit there and wrap the products for you. I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of these products are all done at very similar labs, if not the same labs. They all have great technology, but you're really paying the big differentiation between drugstore brands after a certain point and Bergdorf brands are frankly this idea of you're paid for the marketing. There's ads
So it's
that
that
convince
prestige.
you to buy them.
Right, exactly. It's that prestige, right? Because it's the same thing. You could be drinking soda that is probably made from the same ingredients, but because it's Coca-Cola, you'll pay a little bit more for that. It's that branding.
Or Pepsi versus the Circle K brand. Right?
Exactly. All right. So you help women, make over their skin.
Yeah.
So what would be, when young women come to you and say, I want to change careers, what would be your advice to them when they say, I want a career makeover?
So I say, one, you have to find something you're passionate about, because I think at the end of the day, any career is difficult if you're doing something that's interesting, and you have to love it. As my dad said, find something you love and call it work. So you might not start that way. So I always say when you're starting your career, really try and do the most difficult things possible to build your toolkit. So if that means you have to go into banking for a couple of years, the tools you get in banking are invaluable, or a hard marketing program. So I always say try and get as many skills that give you as much options later on.
So you're glad you were in Wall Street before you did this,
Totally.
then?
I couldn't have done what I'm doing now without having been in Wall Street.
Oh, interesting. Now, if you could do this all over again, Julie, if you could, if you could start your company all over again, would you do anything different?
I probably would think about it twice. It takes a lot more work than I ever expected, but I would probably just dive right in. Would I have started at the high end and gone down the way we did? I probably would have. No one had done it, but we like to do things a little bit differently anyway. So, I think what's great about being an entrepreneur, having your own company, is that you're able to sort of follow a unique path, deal with different decisions as they come, and they're not all going to be right decisions. But you can't really sit and wonder about what you did wrong. You have to learn from it and focus on what you should do tomorrow.
And what has been the biggest difference between being an entrepreneur and working for someone else?
One, I don't have somebody yelling at me if I'm not in the office by 9. I mean,
you can yell at yourself.
That's probably the biggest difference. You know, when I ran a hedge fund, it was still largely, since I was a portfolio manager, my own responsibility. I'd say when I was a little more junior, obviously there's a lot more structure and you have somebody telling you what to do. I don't know that I necessarily love people telling me what to do at this point in my life, but definitely having that structure when you're early on in your career is so invaluable and teaches you discipline, how to be, you know, very great analysis, very detail oriented, all the things that I think you actually need to have to go start a company or do a lot of things.
And just on a final note, who do you look up to in business? Who's like your role model? Do you have one?
There's so many of them, right? In terms of obviously beauty, you have so many great entrepreneurs, from women like Leslie Blodgett, who started Bare Essentials, to, you know, much bigger companies like an Estee Lauder. I mean, there's so many great examples of female entrepreneurs out there.
All right, great, Julie. Thank you.
Thank you.